Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
Business accelerator and incubator programs are on the rise in the US and Europe. Both services help entrepreneurs by backing startups, but this support can come in a range of forms, from financial funding to expert mentorship and guidance. We get to grips with the differences. So how exactly does an accelerator program differ from an incubator? To better understand, we're joined by Kyle Judah, Program Manager at the Martin Trust Center at MIT in Boston. So Kyle, what is the difference between a project incubator and a project accelerator?
Traditionally, incubators are places where they're developing ideas internally and bringing in an external management team to come and run them. But more and more frequently, incubators are coming to mean co-working spaces or just places that build a density of startups and entrepreneurs without any formal programming. A startup accelerator, on the other hand, helps really through a defined program that's really mentor intensive over a defined period of time, usually 3 months to 1 year.
How important is an accelerator or incubator for a startup? Is it fair to say that they are a vital element for success?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think it really depends on the kind of company and what industry and what stage they're at. If they're really, really early on, kind of pre-traction, even pre-idea, an accelerator could do more damage than benefit to them. But if they're at the right stage where a shot of adrenaline and a jump start to their venture can be helpful, then doing a startup accelerator or incubator can be incredibly important. It can help open up resources, potential customers, mentors, and investors for startups. But I would hesitate to say that it is a vital part of it. There are plenty of large, successful, and impactful companies, Google, Facebook, Twitter, just to name a few, who never went through a startup accelerator or incubator. So it's definitely not necessary, but it can be a great help.
But which one is better? Is there a decisive way to judge this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we at MIT have done a lot of research and have a lot of data to show that acceleration trumps incubation 9 out of 10 times. And a big part of that is because incubators have a more loose structure. And so you don't have these external forces like program staff or mentors who are really forcing entrepreneurs to address facts when things aren't working out the way that they should, and they're not really hitting that kind of exponential growth that high-tech and innovation-driven entrepreneurship really aims for.
How could this affect higher education and business schools?
I think it's had an enormous impact on higher education and business schools in general, and we very much believe that you can learn how to be an entrepreneur, but the only way you can learn how to do that is by actually going out and doing it.
Kyle Judah, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
So how does an accelerator work in practice? We find out next in Burundi, where a world-famous designer has come together with an NGO to develop a life-changing product that brings culture and information to vulnerable populations.
The journey's over. Packed with high-tech and educational equipment, these ideas boxes have arrived in a refugee camp in Burundi. They're the brainchild of Bibliothèques Sans Frontières, or Libraries Without Borders.
There are loads of activities in an ideas box. First of all, you can hook up to the internet, you can reconnect with the world. For refugees, that is extremely important because they've lost all their traditional channels of communication. Then they have access to a lot of educational resources, Khan Academy, for example, Wikipedia, all that on offline servers without an internet connection. And then there are computers, tablets, printed books, e-readers with more than 5,000 e-books inside. There's a mobile cinema.
With each ideas box taking just 20 minutes to set up, this colourful and creative initiative has been selected by WISE, the World Innovation Summit for Education, as part of its accelerator program.
The WISE Accelerator program aims to support education entrepreneurs from around the world. As the name implies, we are helping to accelerate the progress of these entrepreneurs' startups through mentorship, education, and providing opportunities to network and meet with potential investors and partners.
Building an ideas box is beginning a process that can change someone's life. Designed by creative mastermind Philippe Stark, these crates break new ground, something Wise is keen to encourage.
I mean, we've seen the power of new startups, innovative startups, and how they've transformed industries, for example, from IT to mobile telephony, and many, many other sectors. Why not education?
Developed for those most in need, the Ideas Box project is offering opportunities for learning and crucially also offering hope to refugees here in Burundi. But Libraries Without Borders wants to take the concept further.
It could be useful in many other situations, so from next year we're going to start setting up ideas boxes in France for people with few educational and cultural opportunities who don't have access to libraries or don't go to them because of symbolic or social barriers. In Australia for Aboriginal communities, in the United States on university campuses. So you see, this concept is extremely attractive and interests a lot of people and goes much further than refugee camps.
Next, we find out how an incubator concept is being applied at a university in France where young student engineers are being prepared for their professional life as they battle it out on the racetrack.
This is the result of 3 years of hard work, a racing car created by students at the École Centrale in Lyon. The budding engineers built their pride and joy as part of EPSA, a student association that aims to promote motorsport and automotive engineering within the university. Students like second-year Luca design and make a vehicle with the help of educational partners and sponsors. For now, his racing car is still at the chassis stage with enormous learning opportunities ahead.
It's a chance to work on all aspects of managing a project, from the organisational and design stages right through to production. And because of that, you lose your fear of starting out on something. All you need is the idea, and you know what you'll have to do to see it through from start to finish.
Patrick Serafero is an external tutor at the École Centrale. He's passionate about incubators and what they can achieve.
It's a bit like being a little baby in your mother's womb. You're nice and warm inside the incubator, rather protected because you still don't know if you're going to embark on your project on an industrial scale in a business world where it's cold and aggressive and where you need to fight.
A 3-year project, a real entrepreneurial process developed within the incubator. Students learn how to run a small business, from dealing with customers to designing and manufacturing the product, and they're marked accordingly.
We assess their abilities, precision, a requirement for any engineer, design skills and teamwork. It's a task shared by several establishments managed by the École Centrale in Lyon, and all these abilities, including efforts to find funding, are taken into account.
And if you still need convincing that these young people are going places, listen to how they get on once their studies are over.
5% of our students create their own businesses within 5 years of leaving, and one of the school's major challenges is to double that figure.
Directly or indirectly, students gain roughly 3 years in terms of their professional maturity.
Seeing a project through from start to finish, that really appealed to me straight away.
What do you think? Would you choose an accelerator or incubator for your business? Send us your feedback on our social media pages. That's it for this week. Goodbye.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.